flatmate just got out of hospital.
Smashing news. How about I arrange a coming home party for them while you see to this current resistance business?
No car and no match. What you talking about? Clown, stand down. Never had a mirror play on here. You were never bad then, you ain't bad now. Never had them and then look. Down, wait, I saw bare kicks, saw bare clothes. Said off that, I can't wear those. I don't like them, they're not my thing. They went silent, they're all weirdos. High yeah, still from Claire. Never had a phone call or one Claire. Man, never call me smart on there. Pop trees, tell them don't do it, don't dare. Don't care who you know from my block. You're not alcohol, yeah. They can take my car and my creps. I'll still do the road in my socks. Like who's gonna stop me? You.
Auto drive now enabled.
Slims, don't be an idiot, move smart. I've been killing it, new king. They ain't ready for my new stuff. You're up by yourself, go and group up. And when Crep went states for the BTs, I was covering Crep like a blue cut. If mad, it's a family thing, straight family thing. Done when I'm grown, no salary thing. Had a painting with Amy telling me to come round hers on a Valerie thing. Hashtag Murky Academy thing. Coming like art in the gallery thing. Dumb boy there, wanna chat about bars, wanna chat about crowd, but. You're getting way too big for your boots. You're never too big for the boot. I got the big size toes on my feet. Your face ain't big for my boots. Kick up the you. Man, know that I kick up the you. Them boy there try to suck the truth. How dare you to suck the truth? Look, I'm too hot. Got money in my shoebox. I'm the man of the house, and my show sold out like the brother from the Boondocks. Swan in my boombox. Still meat from the stew pot. Man, I'm go sick with my tune drops. Little man, that's a hooplo, not a hoopla. What? Pronounce it right, you I got magic, I'm down to die for this. I don't care, bro, I'm down to help the chick. Man, stress, so I'm bound to lap my slips. Wait, I'm bound to ride for flips. Real G's gonna ride around to this. Man, I got no time to write a diss. I never left my 9 to 5 for this waste man thing. I don't care what rave man's in. I came here to relax, but if it gets mad, make a young boy take man's things. Try to tell me I'm way too big to rebel. Nah, man, you're never too big to rebel. I was in the O2 singing my lungs out, rude boy, you're never too big for a Dell. Leave my yard, blow a kiss to my girl. Salute to my sister as well. Gotta keep trophies down at my mum's bit. Man, I'm getting way too big for my show. When I see bare MCs on the sideline, but I still got a couple bangs in the pipeline. Man, I got grown men at me. You're getting way too old for the timeline. You're getting way too old for a diss. Should've looked after your kids. Get out the booth, go home to your son. It's never too late to commit. It's like man, love, put my name in the bar. Random flat, get a play the guitar. This year I learned how to take care of business. Next year I'll learn how to play the guitar. You're getting way too big for your boots. You're never too big for the boot. I got the big size toes on my feet. Your face ain't big for my boots. Kick up to you. Man, know that I kick up to you. Them boy there try to suck the truth. How dare you to suck the truth? Look, you're getting way too big for your boots. You're never too big for the boot. I got the big size toes on my feet. Your face ain't big for my boots. Kick up to you. Man, know that I kick up to you. Them boy there try to suck the truth. How dare you to suck the truth?
When a startup advertised passive income to anyone willing to enlist their autonomous vehicle in their network taxi service, many people jumped at the opportunity. The hidden catch? Their cars were being used to ferry drug shipments. Join us at GBB for the full story.
Cracking 40 O's. Now I'm on the road packing 40 shows. This is my life, this is all that I wanted. Spent too many years being haunted. Now I'm back on it. I wrestle my demons and keep on swinging hard. Killing every show, that's how I'm living, God. God willing, I'll be living large. Still in in a rental car. Yeah, they keep saying I'm too dark and I'm twisted. A loser with no heart, about to risk it. We drifted apart and now we're distant. It's all gone so fast, how could we miss it? Hold on a minute, give me a moment. It's my time to shine, I gotta own it. Never home, my phone always roaming. I'm building empires like the Romans. And everywhere you go, I'm famous. Without the diamonds and chains, I'm running. I'm telling y'all, you just don't get it. Bitch, I'm running the thing, I'm doing it all in. We're all in together. Got my people, let's roll that cheddar. Hey, man, turn my beat up. Girl, I'm leaving and you know I'm evil. Yeah, so many years on the road, spread the gospel. Tipping bottles, putting shit up in my nostrils. I remember when they said that I was awful. But fuck them all, I burn them all down to charcoal. I don't chase the party, I chase paper. I pay for lunch, I don't pay for favors. Boy, this game could never phase us. We built to win cause that's how God made us. In the image of the pharaohs, just independent. Swing around my neck like I won the pennant. Sitting on the mound like I'm Eddie Pettit. So don't fuck around, clown, this is how you get it. Cold world, we all trying to get a better piece. Let it squeeze from the Jeep with the leather seats. Chasing cheddar cheese like I'm Lebanese. You best believe, boy, it's Ebonese. And everywhere you go, I'm famous. Without the diamonds and chains, I'm running. I'm telling y'all, you just don't get it. Bitch, I'm running the thing, I'm doing it all in. We're all in together. Got my people, let's roll that cheddar. Hey, man, turn my beat up. Girl, I'm leaving and you know I live in the moment. Yeah, I'm all in my zone, I'm high to throw. I live in the moment. Yeah, don't you get it? Just give me one night, you won't forget it. Yeah, I'ma tell you one more time. Just don't play, homie, no mind. Yeah, don't you get it? Just give me one night, you won't forget it. Get it?
Listen, trying to get these GCSEs while trying to be this MC. Post on the backside of my knees, man, did not how to stack P. Getting gas up on new 16, like who wants to come clash me? Might have seen me on Jenkins Road or frontline in FK. Started putting my all in when they wanted to get me in all out. Bigger than my hometown G's, me and my brothers, we never fall out. Promoters on the phone now, I rems, man, I gotta go now. Man just got booked to the club, there's a few, man, we gotta call out. Let's go. What you wanna buy? What you telling them? 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 Telling them. What you wanna buy? What you telling them? Telling them. What you wanna buy? What you telling them? Telling them. What you wanna buy? What you telling them? Listen, mom keeps getting onto me, so I gotta get a J.O.B. I did work, but I could not dismiss that the sons and daughters know me. These times I was moving solo, real talk, it was on me. I said I was gonna take it there, I Smiley and Shinobi. Finishing work at 9, hitting studio till 6. Starting work at 12, same old shit for the kids. Man tryna rep for the area, man tryna make it big. Man's been thinking about this from 2006. Really, what you wanna buy? What you telling them? 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 Telling them. What you wanna buy? What you telling them? Telling them.
Given our line of work, it would be good to have a medical professional on call.
It's better than watching tutorials on how to suture your own wounds.
We still pop bottles about any occasion. Came too far for the plug and the harness. Summertime, so fucking look carnage. When you never decided my arm, this boys always want to get together at the party. Can't slip that out now, not anybody. Maybe next time, so I'll get harder. I move cities and I better myself, in the keeping it with a piercing. Never could. Father, what you wanna buy? What you telling them? What you wanna buy? What you telling them?
Maybe back up a bit, yeah?
Run it.
Jump it.
Climb it.
Conquer it.
Whatever you're doing this weekend, Scoreline has the gear you need to get your heart racing. You do it, we clothe it. Scoreline. We're more than sports.
The bug, nibbling away on the rotting carcass of a once free Britain.
Yum, yum.
Hello, Resistance fans. You're listening to the Bug Podcast, the objective voice of objection for this most objectionable world. I am Andy, not my real name, so good luck finding me, Monsieur Bloom. My real name is, in fact, Andrew, and I live in, note this down, a deluded pseudo-reality of my own making, which is, in fact, the most densely populated place on Earth these days, overcrowded, some might say. Joining me, as always, my next-door neighbour in these Netherlands of nonsense, it's Alice.
Yes, indeed, it is Alice. Alice, who the bleep is Alice? I am not going to tell you that, but you can just sort of sense it from the timbre of my voice.
Let's spin the wheel and find out where we're getting today's news from. Here, it's coming from here. I must get a new wheel with at least one other place on it. And the headline today, Alice, our borders are safe. We can all sleep easy in our well-bordered beds. 4,000 illegals were deported last month. These illegal people breaking the law just by existing. And of course, illegality is contagious. It can osmose through your skin just by standing next to an illegal person. So we've got rid of 4,000 of them. My question for you, Alice, is why only 4,000? Is that really enough? I will not feel safe until at least another 75 million people have been deported from this country, and I'm here in Britain on my own.
As a bleeding heart lefty, Andy, I would normally be outraged about this, but really I think mass deportation is a very handy way to break up with a partner. I'm sorry, baby, I love you, but an anonymous source has reported you for snoring really loudly in a French way.
So everyone out, no exceptions, Alice, not even you, it's for the good of the country, everyone out, unless you can prove that your family are in the background on the Bayeux Tapestry cheering on King Harold. The Battle of Hastings in 1066. Get out! Actually, that's not British enough. Unless you can show, unarguably, that your direct bloodline is untainted by anything since before the Romans. Actually, scratch that. Unless your direct ancestor was personally responsible for building Stonehenge, get out of my country. I guess when you look at it, you know, the best ways to stop immigration, apart from, obviously, the end of the world, to make the place you'd want to stop people coming to as unpleasant as possible. So,
well, we absolutely are doing that, Andy.
Well, you know, fair play to the government for helping us with that. Another option, extend the White Cliffs of Dover.
Auto drive now
They've been
enabled.
resting on their laurels for too long. Very inefficient, it turns out, as a means of stopping immigration. We need to extend them by about another 11,000 miles, a full wrap around Great Britain.
Auto drive now
And it would be
disabled.
about 1.5 kilometres higher as well, with a special greasy coating to stop people clambering over the top or however they get in. Here's a quick joke for you, Alice, about immigration. Did you hear the one about the woman who went into the immigration processing centre and was ever seen again?
No, Andy, I didn't hear that one.
Boom. Set up. Punchline. Classic. For those of you unfamiliar with it, the immigration processing centre is, of course, where so many of our guests to Britain go for a longer than desirable game of involuntary hide and seek. You are listening to The Bar. I will conclude by saying, out of all the things wrong with Britain today, I think immigration is right up there, Alice. When you think of all
Auto-drive
the
now
health
enabled.
professionals we've stolen from overseas over the years here in Britain, it's quite possible that all these people are just coming here to try to get an appointment with their local doctor.
Yes, Andy, certainly as someone who came
You
from
have
the
reached your
expanded arm of the
destination.
empire when Britain was still reaching out rather than folding in on itself. Most of us just come here to visit our stuff in the museums.
It's the British way.
Speaking of international movement, Britain has recalled all European ambassadors after a spy scandal. I think this is probably a good thing, because British foreign politicians are always putting their foot in their mouths. How much worse can they do if they're not there? I mean, by definition, the fact that there's a spy scandal means that they were terrible spies. The point of spies is that there's never a spy scandal.
Yeah, but let's give credit to all the spies that haven't been in scandals and therefore might as well not exist.
Well, they've arrested those German spies in that SIRS crackdown on the illegals in Hackney, and I think that's a sad thing. I think I used to think of Germans as quite scary, but that was because I'd been watching World War II movies where the Germans all have English accents. They speak in that very, like, precise way. It's very, you know, we have ways of making you talk, and now Germans all have that American accent where it's all like, welcome to the party, we're having a really nice time. They're much friendlier Germans. Let them stay.
Well, that's all today, Bugsters. Remember, it's not as bad as it seems. Honestly. I hope. Until next time, bye-bye.
This is London Calling. You're listening to me, Tash, on Buccaneer, your source for what they don't want you to know. This time we're turning our focus back on the media to look at my former employer, the GBB. As we know, the broadcaster has been through a lot of changes since the Hassani government gave in to pressure from its corporate backers and privatised the corporation. Today, the GBB is a shadow of its former self. It's become a tool used by the government to circulate fake news and misinformation. So how did we get here? Where did it all go wrong? How can we tell when our national media has become state propaganda? Our experts speak on conditions of anonymity for their own safety. Here's disinformation and media expert Charles, who's seen free broadcasters built up by journalists and torn down by demagogues all over the world.
So before the media fragmented, there was this voice of authority that was trusted and worthy of trust. Then what we ended up with is a really commercial model where whether you're talking about an app on a smart device or whether you're talking about a broadcaster, the most important thing was to keep you in that environment for the longest amount of time possible. And because that meant money in their pocket. And in order to do that, a couple of things happened. One was the use of manipulative techniques around behavioral economics, things that would just keep you scrolling or keep you listening or keep you looking.
But that does it. I'm suing you for harassment. I didn't do anything.
Take it easy.
Oh, sorry. You're not Albion. I've had guards stopping me non-stop today. I feel like I'm going mad.
Hey, it's all right. We're here to help. What's your problem?
Something strange has happened. I can't pass a checkpoint or an Albion guard without being stopped. I think some wanker is smearing me on CTOS, making me a person of fucking interest or whatever.
Yeah, the system's ripe for abuse. Is there anyone who'd want to get you back for something?
Couldn't say. I rubbed a fair number of people up the wrong way, if you catch my meaning. Do you think you could hack the system and trace who's behind this? Listen, help me with this, and I'll return a favour. I always do.
All right, we'll look into it. Ideas?
We have a CTOS backdoor already, but all the reports are anonymised. If you want to know who's targeting our friend, get me a hardline into a government server.
Great. I'll get the data. Send me the location, please.
Disobedience will be met with force. Stupid flying
Looking for more information. The second is that kind of environment favors sensationalism. And so you got more sensational headlines and more sensational stories, and it didn't matter whether they were true or not.
Auto drive now
kept
enabled.
people in, and it kept them in the loop. So we ended up in a situation where nobody trusted anything, and nobody believed anything at all. And that is the perfect environment for an authoritarian voice to come in and say, no, wait, we are the truth. So the ground for this environment really got created when we had suddenly authoritarian politicians everywhere, and anything that threatened them or they disagreed with, they would call it disinformation. That's disinformation, that's fake news. And again, you got in a situation where nobody
Auto drive now disabled.
believed anything. And the trouble is if you were telling the truth, it's very hard to get your message to cut through all of the noise of all of the disinformation that's there. So like, you know, you'll remember Out on the Edges, there was this story about when they would take a house by force, they would take any infants and they would crucify them. And that's a great, fantastic, viral story. And how do you counter that story? With the truth. The only way you can counter it is by saying, no, they didn't. And of course, no one wants to spread that story. No one wants to hear that story. They want to hear the sensationalism. They want to hear how people were victims of violence when in fact they weren't. Or they were victims of insurgent forces when in fact they weren't.
The news isn't neutral, it's a battleground. Here's media researcher and academic Alfie.
The media has, of course, been perhaps the
Auto drive
key
now
way
enabled.
in which governments have controlled and influenced their populations. So, totalitarian countries have typically used huge mainstream media outlets to sell one kind of news, one kind of biased news to its population. Of course, the media has always played this kind of key role in methods of state control. I think what's happening now is perhaps even more concerning, where you previously, in pre-crisis Britain, we had perhaps more diverse voices in the media, but now with the GBB, you're really only seeing one brand of news and therefore only getting one truth. So people end up with a very biased and controlled idea of the reality and the world that we're actually living in. There was, of course, many concerns and many problems, but in a way there were some positive things, that like not all information was coming from one place, and so you'd have kind of far-right media outlets developing and then left-wing media outlets developing to combat those and kind of challenge the mainstream newspapers, TV stations, radios, and make sure people were questioning the validity and truth of the information they were receiving. So whilst there was the digital afforded more fake information, it also makes us suspicious and sceptical of information and makes us question the information we're getting. And I think in pre-crisis Britain it might not have seemed great at the time, but there was something positive about that there was a lot of distrust in the media and in the different kinds of truths that were being told. Whereas now I think you're seeing a return to a more traditional and older pre-digital sense, actually, of people just trusting what they're told, and that's why we have to be here with radio stations like this to challenge those conceptions. most citizens feel pretty hopeless, I think, and unable to fight back against these kind of huge mainstream corporations that simply
Auto drive now
entrench and
enabled.
support the ideals and ideologies of the state. It can seem very hopeless indeed, but I think, you know, the fact that you're out there listening and we're in here talking shows that there is still a space to combat these false truths and disinformation that's being sold to us, and that it's never possible really to completely shut down, despite all the technologies that they have at their disposal and all the financial and corporate power.
Auto drive
and
now
all
disabled.
The physical power. It's never quite possible to shut down people's desire to get to the truth and fight for their own ideologies and values, and you know, we're out here starting that task, so don't give up hope.
You've been listening to Buccaneer with me, Tash. We'll be back soon with more of what you'll never hear on the GBB. Keep listening, keep sharing, and keep resisting.
Mum, this is boring.
I'm out of data.
Oh, I was playing that game.
Mom!
Anywhere, anytime you need us, we're there. Wi-Fi on the fly.
From the Buccaneer, this is the Bug. Hello, resistors, it's bug time. Are you all sitting comfortably? No? Good. That's as it should be. This is the Bug. I'm Andy, and joining me to analyse the latest blowflies to emerge from the courts of once free Britain, it's Alice.
Hello, Andy.
And today, we're going to talk to you about Albion, your friends of mine. Alice, the government has extended Albion's contract and have also boasted that violent crime has plummeted to a record low. Now, extending Albion's contract, to me, that's like having a pet dog, let's call it Nigel for the sake of argument, that attacks you every single day and thinking to yourself, wouldn't it be nice if Nigel had puppies?
That contract has been extended so many times, it's like the neck of a politician that's criticised the government.
I'm not sure entirely how those contract extension negotiations went. Probably like a footballer. In the old days, I assume Albion's agent was leaking stories to the press about how our favourite private militia was being tapped up by Barcelona. The government panics and thinks, well, we better get them signed up before it's too late. But still, violent crime, a record low, although I imagine that probably depends exactly how you count it. If you include violent crime committed by the state, either themselves or via Albion, their chosen violent crime contractors, who provide a very valuable bargain service of beating people up, well, it's probably not quite as low as the figures suggest.
I don't know. I think they're probably right. Who has the opportunity to commit violent crime these days anyway? The moment you pick up a fruit knife, you get tasered by a robot policeman and deported for looking Bulgarian. It's a much more peaceful society. It's just much less of a society.
I want to know the details of the contracts. Alice, I mean, are they paid per dissident duffed up? Is it a set rate for each extrajudicial state mugging? And what is that rate? What do you think?
Well, they certainly look like they're trying to hit a quota of some kind.
Well, what is the set rate? Is it what, 99.95 cryptos bargain? Seems very reasonable indeed. I imagine they don't ask too much anyway, Albion, because it's just so nice to get paid for doing your hobby anyway, isn't it? I imagine it doesn't even feel like work.
I mean, who needs violent crime anymore anyway? You know, you can just starve to death without even starting a gang war.
We do have to ask exactly what does the Prime Minister make of all this. Let's ask him. Oh, I hope they pick up. Hello, you're through to number 10 Downing Street. Hello, is the Prime Minister there, please? Let me just check. Sorry, you've missed him. I'm afraid he's popped out for the decade. Oh, never mind. Is there anyone else I can talk to? Yes, of course. There's a shady cabal of vested interests who control him and prop him up in power. Great, I'll have a chat with them then.
Oh, Andy, remember when you could get away with prank calls without people coming round to your house to beat the shit out of you?
Oh, happy times.
You're listening to The Bug.
Did you think the Prime Minister will ever come back?
I don't think we've ever had a Prime Minister.
Well, that's a much more reassuring way of looking at things. What have we become? Alice, when you look at the state of our politics, we're supposed to have the mother of parliaments. Well, this is one mother that has emphatically abandoned her kids in the woods to be brought up by wolves. And let me tell you, that never works out like it does in the stories. Wolves are bad parents, unless you're a wolf, in which case they can do a job bringing you up as a wolf. Do not give your children to wolves.
And do you actually own anything as a country now? Is there anything you haven't logged off the profit? I think we've basically just become a wholly
I gotta get out of here. I'm here.
The server is there somewhere. Once you're hooked up, we can see exactly where the false reports are coming from.
Okay, I'm on it.
Find whoever hacked this vehicle.
Any sign of the target? What's next? What an asshole. Let's do this.
I'm in.
The anonymous reports on our friend read like a terrorist's shopping list. Van rental, bulk fertilizer purchase, bulk petrol purchase.
Sounds an awful lot like someone's making a car bomb.
Yes, only it can't have been him. The timestamps on these reports don't match our GPS tracking. Someone out there must be about to launch an attack, and they want him to take the fall.
Shit, this is bad. So many people could die if that bomb goes off. Bags, we have to find it. What about those false reports? Is there a lead there?
I traced the IP back to a known Clan Kelly hideout. That's where we'll find our culprits.
This is London Calling. You're listening to Buccaneer, your pirate podcast source for what they don't want you to know. I'm Tash, and this time we're giving a special shout out from us to the boys and girls at the Signal and Intelligence Response Service, better known as SIRS. Why not? They're going to be listening anyway. They're listening to everything. But don't worry, we're not going to say anything bad about a massive, unaccountable spy organization that uses its powers to stifle dissent and shut down free speech. Instead, we're going to look at how SIRS became so powerful. And as usual, we'll keep everyone's names and locations secret, so SIRS doesn't come looking for them. Ian was a veteran political writer and podcaster back in the days of pre-crisis Britain.
Is the world we're living in now fascist? Well, this is what fascism is. It is the complete and total control of the individual. The desire to basically say to the individual, nothing in your life matters. On an individual basis, you are now part of the whole, part of the nation. And the only meaning that you will find in your life is to become part of the nation. What is a nation? A nation doesn't mean anything, right? The nation is basically just encapsulated by the leader that takes over, that claims that he, has this sort of access to the soul of the country, to the soul of the people. He never does. It's just... a myth. But that's what they go for. And on that basis, they take the right to control every aspect of your life, from who you talk to where you eat, to where you go to hang out with your friends. And what we're seeing now is a contemporary iteration of this process where you get corporations and the state operating in tandem, basically molded into one. But that isn't that rare. I mean, we saw exactly the same thing in Nazi Germany. You look at the concentration camps that operated in Nazi Germany, there were private companies in those camps making use of that slave labor. Fascism often works with corporations, and it's doing the same now. That's the way in which they track what you do. That's the way in which they track who you talk to. They operate as each other's proxies.
Charles is an expert in the dark arts of surveillance who worked to set up democratic media in post-communist states. How did it go so wrong in Britain?
We're looking at all the wrong things when we look at Britain's crisis. There's a lot of concentration on data and how that's been used and manipulated. And what we haven't looked at is the power structures and the profit that lies behind this. For example, if we examine what actually happened, there's a company that's really very interested in selling passports and making it easy to provide visas for investment and so on. And historically, throughout the world, they've been working with this big data manipulation company in order to overthrow governments. And then suddenly all the chickens came home loose. Nobody could find any receipts for what was paid for. Nobody could figure out how things were done, but everybody had a feeling that something really stunk, and they couldn't figure it out. And yet, it was standing there in their face the whole time. There's a couple of different ways that we got where it is that we are. One, we have a lot of smaller organizations, smaller power groups, companies as well. We're bending things just a little. We'll compromise a little bit. We'll bend the rules a little bit and try to achieve what it is that we hope to achieve that's good for us. And if you add all of that up, what you end up with is a big wall moving in a big way from a lot of little buttons being pushed. But also there's this other thing that's going on here is the gathering of data and the analysis of data has authoritarianism contained within its DNA. It is by its nature a tool for authoritarianism, and it has been used in that.
How does big data look into our lives? James covered it for the pre-crisis press.
We're starting to see the merger of private data and that with data held by the state into what are called social credit systems. This is where every aspect of your behaviour is monitored and totted up by a central system to sort of score you as a person, a bit like a credit card, but predicated on all of your behaviour rather than just the money you're spending. And this can have profound impact. We're starting to see systems emerge which will punish you and stop you from doing things in society based on your behaviours. And this can be as trivial as if you jaywalk, if you cross the road in the wrong place, you might lose points. If you do some community activities or help your neighbours, you might earn points. And then this can be used to evaluate you as a person. And this could mean, for example, better travel privileges, being able to travel first class, or being denied from travelling first class to not being able to travel at all. These systems are very real and very possible because of all the data.
Auto drive now enabled. Auto drive now disabled.
So if your ears are burning and you think someone might be watching you, you're probably right. They're watching all of us. I'm Tash and you've been listening to Buccaneer. Keep listening, keep sharing the show, and keep it encrypted. They're watching us. But we're watching you too.
You're listening to The Bug.
May cause nausea, vomiting and headaches. You're listening to The Bug, the Resistance comedy show brought to you by the Buccaneer Network. I'm Andy, joining me, as always, Alice.
I'm excited to be here. Apparently, the Resistance is not going well.
Again? Well, there has been some news about DedSec, the Resistance and/or terrorist organisation.
There's the bomb.
Every resistance that I've ever seen is weaker than the British pound. I feel like hope is an expensive thing to buy these days.
Right. I mean, is it all totally pointless? I mean, it can feel pointless, but then again, I've spent almost all of my life doing pointless things like watching sport, thinking about watching sport, learning French and hoping for a better future. All completely pointless. But yeah, I've done them, so we might as well carry on. Is there a light at the end of the tunnel? Yes, I think there is. Unfortunately, what is that light? Is it an oncoming train? Well, no, it couldn't be. Obviously, that train would be late or cancelled. Is the light at the end of the tunnel a burning effigy of the concept of hope? Quite possibly. Is it the soul of Sky Larson imploding into its own vacuum? May well be that. Is it the ego of Nigel Cass that is now so big that it's sucked all the light in the universe into itself? I think that is most likely is that, but we'll never give up, Bug fans. This resistance will never die. And one day, we will again be free.
I've got a vehicle with a Wi-Fi bomb detonator somewhere on the premises. Get me a link up and I can disable it.
Read you loud and clear. It's your show, Bags.
Disarming it now.
Bring the
those Albion guards now. Join GBB tonight to learn the shocking truth.
Kill you today?
London. Pretty much my favourite topic. I could talk for hours about the rise of the AI system. It's easy to forget about its origins.
You're just making this worse for yourself.
Any luck yet? Terminating the search.
Who do you think you are, hey?
Done. The bomb's dead. The only way it's exploding is if it's hit with another, larger bomb.
DedSec to the rescue.
Now get out of there so we can contact our friend.
You were right. The Kellys were ready to make you take the fall for a car bombing. They pinned you on CTOS. Thank God we stopped them before anything happened.
Fuck me. I really owe you one for doing this.
Hey, you know what? You're exactly the kind of person DedSec is looking for. You should join us. It's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do it.
It's pretty well known that they're not fans of blue. But the idea of a souped-up version of Bagley, given it's already... They're intelligent is a bit terrifying.
Auto drive now
I wonder what they
enabled.
could actually make it do.
I hate to interrupt you while you're busy resisting, but I thought you might want to know that one of your operatives just got grabbed off the street and shoved into an unmarked van.
Oh, crap.
Quite. Fortunately, I took a look through our ever-expanding enemies list, and I think I've identified the culprit. Finding him should lead us to our missing operative.
Okay, I'm on it.
The latest update to the CSA app, the government app that has brought the great British tradition of snitching on people you don't like back to the very heart of public life, the school playground. I'm going to tell a new threat that's got a whole new lease of life these days, thanks to CSA, and isn't Britain all the more fun because of it? No more grumbling about your neighbours playing their music too loud, just simply report them to the state and have them, shall we say, involuntarily rehoused at hotel. Gas, the chain of hotels that was formerly known as the prison service. What was the slogan? Was it, if you see something, say something, or if you think you might at some point see something, say something, or if you haven't seen anything but don't like someone, say something anyway. Well, let's have a look at this new app. Alice, I'm sure you've got it on your phone. I mean, at first glance, well, the interface is lovely. It's so neatly designed. A simple button to snitch on someone. That's so much better than non-government informer apps like Stool-Easy, Can Canary, or Narc Shark. I mean, look, I just need to geocache where the person I'm ratting on currently is. Let's call her, for the sake of argument, Alice.
Sorry, Andy, I was busy reporting you to the authorities for rolling your eyes when passing a Nigel Cass propaganda poster.
Could you not let me report you first, please? Let's have some decorum about this. I'll just take a quick little photo so they can get a drone to pick you out of a crowd at your next riot or trip to the shops or walk in. And you can input your accusations with the app. Well, let's go old school. Let's call the phone line. Let's call the phone line. Here's the number, listeners, in case you want to dob someone in, as long as it's not me. 0044 203 807 3832. And don't forget to get the permission of the person who pays your bills before you call that number.
Hey, I'd like to report my co-host Andrew, who runs an underground satirical anti-government comedy show, for running and co-hosting an underground satirical anti-government comedy show. Also, he does terrible puns.
Well, excuse me, I have a suspect for you. That is my co-host, Alice. I have some evidence for you. She tutted audibly at the sight of an Albion vehicle in the street yesterday. She says she prefers pigeons to bloom drones. I mean, come on, seriously, when did a drone ever crap on your picnic? And what's more, and look, I've no idea if this is true or not, but I have it on very good authority, so please write this down, that she owns not one, but two unlicensed fallopian tubes, whatever they are, but they sound dodgy.
If I had a crypto for every time someone had reported my fallopian tubes, I'd have 3. Sure, I think it converts to about 120,000 Great British pounds in the old money.
We'll report back in the next episode about whether or not we've been arrested and interned. I mean, I love this system, Alice. I mean, no more awkward, rumbling resentments with your neighbours, your colleagues, or, what the heck, in for a penny, your family. You just dob them in and be done with it. But I guess it could backfire. I mean, the thing is with the family, inevitably parents and their children, they end up squabbling, and, in today's Britain, your kids are going to dob you in, so you might as well get in there first and preemptively counter-dob them in to the authorities. What's that number again? Let's call them up again. Hey, I've got someone else. It's my son. Let's call him Norris. He never tidies his bedroom. He gets up late. He listens to illegal, non-government sanctioned music and is covertly plotting the downfall of the government and the restoration of a true democracy. Thank you.
Yeah, just define all your household chores as patriotic. And if they fail to do them, dob them in.
Problem solved.
If you don't do the washing up, do you even want a clean British ethno-step?
This is the bug on the Buccaneer.
The bug.
Well, before we go today, Alice, let's delve into what we most miss about the old days. I'm going to kick off with the flag.
Auto drive now disabled.
But somehow, our new flag manages to be even more irritating than that. I don't know quite what it is. If it's the new colour scheme, or if it's just that it symbolises the loss of everything we once held dear. But that flag irritates the hell out of me.
Was everything you ever held dear Scotland?
Well, that was something I held quite dear.
I miss being able to dodge my friends' destination weddings in Italy. There's nothing worse than being asked to spend the equivalent of a motorbike on some sort of boat-based farce in Sorrento, and I always used to really enjoy saying, oh no, I can't afford it. Now they're all getting married in Brighton and I have to go to that alleged beach. It's made of rocks, Andy. If your sandcastle is an actual castle, that's not a beach.
I'll tell you what I miss. I miss free will. That was fun. Remember that? I mean, was it an illusion all the time? Who cares? It felt fun. I miss cash, particularly coins. I really miss coins. The fun of doing a heads or tails best of 5 to see if you had to go to the gym, and then the best of 7, the best of 9, and until you won. That was really street. Now with crypto, all the romance has gone out of heads and tails.
I miss romance, Andy. I miss there being mystery in life and not just a hope that your new partner isn't good enough at hacking to find out all the information the government has on you.
Bye for now, Bug
Auto
fans.
drive now
Keep
enabled.
feeding the kid in the resistance, and one day it will grow
Auto
into a
drive now
Tyrannosaurus Rex
disabled.
that will use the Cass family as to
Run it.
Jump it.
Climb it.
Conquer it.
Whatever you're doing this weekend,
If you want to revoke our Prospect's rendition order, you can do it from a terminal at this location. This is the American Embassy. Hack the server and we should be able to find where Heath Bolton is. You can revoke the order from there. Rendition order cleared. Our Prospect should be quite pleased by that. Now that you've helped them, they might be willing to talk to us.
Tech. Everyone knows her name, but no one knows too much about her. We only really see her these days as a hologram. She was pretty young when she launched Broker Tech, the company that is best known for introducing Bagley to the world. Nowadays, it's hard to remember a world before Bagley.
Bagley is the most advanced, significant AI of our time, and it's really blown all the other AIs that were created out of the water. And I think that what Skye Larson's done with Bagley is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really imagine the Optic without it. But what do you know about Skye Larson herself?
Not a lot, other than that she's actually pretty incredible. I've followed her work for a long time, and she's always been a pretty private person. I know that she supposedly grew up in the countryside, but there isn't actually that much more we know about her other than this tech that she's put out into the world.
I've always found it a bit creepy that she's so obsessed with this idea of transhumanism.
Why wouldn't you be? When you've got a mind as amazing as Skye's, why wouldn't you want to take what you've got and actually augment it by working with technology, by improving your physical self, changing your body and the world around you, implementing more technology to extend your life and really sort of extend human capabilities?
You sound pretty much in love with Skye Larson, I have to say.
I can't comment on that, but I am a big fan of her work. She's been one of these people that has transformed the world around us, and just watching how her mind works from afar is pretty incredible, because some of what the technology she's introduced has changed how we all live our lives, and Bagley has been this really incredible assistance to humanity as a whole. Did I ever tell you that I actually interviewed Skye Larson once?
Really? I thought she never spoke to the media or anything.
So this was a long time ago, back in the day when she was a little bit more accessible, and she was one of these people that just had an amazing presence. You were inspired by her very being, and she was just incredibly talented and
Auto drive now enabled.
And one of possibly the best living
You have
people
reached
I've
your
ever met.
destination.
I'm not sure you're being too objective there. I mean, I imagine she's not very likable as a person.
She obviously despises humanity in some ways. I think she believes that becoming data is preferable to being human. She's one of these people who's extremely methodical in everything that she does, and she does
Auto drive
everything to
now
perfection
enabled.
and really tries to change the world around her and make it a better place for us to live in.
If you say so.
Pathfinder! Drone, perform search.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of The Upload. We're talking about the Optic and how it's changed our
Auto drive
lives.
now disabled.
Now, as you remember, Bloom announced a new version of the Optic at the recent Tone conference, but we haven't heard too much about that since due to the dramatic events there. Let's cast our minds back and consider the technology. I mean, the Optic changed everything. It lets you see things in AR. You no longer need a smartphone. You just have the small implant that sends signals to your optic nerve and lets you see your emails, take calls, and browse the internet directly as if the screen was in front of your eyes. Instead of having to carry around a phone, you've just got the small handheld unit. So much lighter and so much more convenient. It's great.
Auto drive now
Vicky, you
enabled.
sound like you absolutely love the Optic. Do you actually think that it's made our lives any better?
I mean, sure, it's definitely made things a lot easier. It's so simple to call someone now. All you have to do is choose who you want to chat to, and they're there, ready to talk. And browsing the web is so much easier. I remember when you used to have to sit down at a computer with an actual keyboard and mouse and type everything out. And my favourite feature is public transport. With the Optic, you can just walk straight onto the tube. It even acts as a passport. No longer do I have to dig around and try and find my old paper passport just to travel somewhere. Also, I thought that Optic's marketing strategy, making it free for people, was a stroke of genius.
Genius. Bloom was really calculated when it was doing that. It was pushing this draconian device on us at all. Sure, everybody flocked to it. There was free Wi-Fi and phone plans. That definitely helped, but it wasn't a case of this is a product that you need in your life.
Why do you hate it so much?
It's just the worst because you had to give up your privacy expectations and accept surveillance. It was almost like the government and Bloom didn't even need to make the optic mandatory. Making it mandatory was only to get the last holdouts across the line.
Now enabled.
If free data didn't convince you, fines and
Auto
arrests
drive
from
now
the state
disabled.
for not having the optic would pretty much be enough.
I mean, what do you mean by privacy problems? No one really talks about that anymore.
They don't talk about it because we don't have any choice when it comes to the optic. Yes, it's convenient and mandatory, but everybody's forgotten what it really means. Here, you've got a whole company owning basically all the data about your life. Bloom can see everything that you can see. Nothing is private anymore. There are so many times when I don't want anyone to have a clue about where I am, who I'm chatting with, what I'm doing. It's not even dodgy stuff, but I just don't want anybody to blackmail with me with this in the future by hacking it. And because of Bloom's contracts with the government, it isn't just Bloom that can see everything I do, it's the government. The UK as a state has become a complete surveillance paradise.
I think you're painting a bit of a bleak picture. It's not all that bad.
No, you're completely wrong on this. I don't want everybody tracking me wherever I'm going around London.
Well, in that case, you might be interested in some rumours I heard. Did you hear that some DedSec hackers have found a way to bypass the optic's connection with Bloom?
Are they actually making it better or usable or actually friendly for anybody?
Well, word on the street is that they've been able to create an encrypted signal, which means that your world might have a chance of becoming a bit more private again, so you could go back and enjoy all the great things about Optic without that fear of surveillance.
With the Optic, privacy's dead.
Counter-terrorism, counterintelligence, countering organized crime. Signal Intelligence Response leads the world in surveillance. It's great British technology protecting great British values.
Auto drive now enabled.
Service. Watching over Britain, watching out for you.
This is London Calling. You're listening to Buccaneer, your source for what they don't want you to know. With me, Tash. It's hard to believe that there could be shortages of food and medicine in an advanced country like ours. And yet, here we are. Those old government promises of adequate food turn out to be just another lie. Today we're short of basic foodstuffs and vital medical supplies. Hundreds have already died of conditions that can be easily cured. The black market means that criminal gangs like Clan Kelly run our cities. And Prime Minister Dev Hasani isn't even around to pretend to care. How do we go from a consumer paradise to a place of empty shelves?
Auto drive now disabled.
What turns a land of plenty into a wild west of hoarding, food battles and black market barriers? We protect everyone who comes on the podcast by keeping their identities a secret. Here's veteran political reporter Ian on the power behind shortages.
I mean, what was the first thing that happened when Britain sealed itself off? Like, the first stuff that got stopped from coming in was fresh food. I mean, we could live without the fresh food. I mean, everyone's quality of life got instantly worse, but we could live without it. The most damaging part was when the radioactive isotopes stopped coming in. Now, radioactive isotopes
Auto drive now enabled.
Cancer screening, cancer treatment. Now, that stuff, it has a short half-life. Technetium used to save hundreds of thousands of lives just by screening for cancer, let alone testing for cancer. But that stuff has a half-life of 66 hours. As soon as those walls went up, there was just no time to bring it into the country, and that is when people started dying. And then the medicines. The thing is, there's loads of medicines that you just can't stockpile. There was a moment before it took place when actually there was some effort to try and stockpile some of the medicines. There was some things that could be done. For a lot of it, there was simply nothing that could be done. We had a major problem with drugs for schizophrenia. So we saw such an uptick in the kind of attacks.
You have reached your destination.
Suffering on their own because they didn't have the mental health drugs, because those drugs simply couldn't be stockpiled. We eventually found the same thing with foods that weren't produced in the UK. And the trouble with the UK was we don't produce our own food. We never have. For hundreds of years, we produced under half of our own food. So as soon as those wars went up, we started having significant material problems in the country. I mean, Britain always told itself it had this national myth, right, that because it got through the war, that it could go through any kind of hardship. I mean, that wasn't really the case. Actually, people during the war were far more frightened than some of this historical stuff makes out. Now, what did we see? People don't want to go through that stuff. They were desperate for the things that they had before, and they were scared. So they went to the black market. It's the same thing that always happens. And where did the growth of Clan Kelly come from? It came from people wanting the things that they could previously get legitimately and could now only get through the black market, funneling funds towards criminality. And from there, we got to the situation we have now of this basically war between criminals and security that seems to dominate what's going on out there on the streets.
Nothing shakes people's faith in capitalism quite as much as when capitalism fails to deliver. Here's underground writer and analyst Alfie, The Politics of Poverty.
I think what we've come to now is a realisation that capitalism's essentially failed. I mean, the one key promise of capitalism that it makes to its citizens is that there will be surplus, that we will have plenty, and that's the whole logic for running society in this way, that people will have enough. And now, with these kind of huge shortages of everything, you're seeing that system collapse. It hasn't delivered on its primary promise. And I think we've really reached the situation where we have to do away with capitalism entirely. We're seeing a situation where there's shortages for the many, but for a few individuals, there's an elite.
Who are not struggling and short of anything.
Excuse me, but you seem like the kind of person who really cares and wants to make a difference.
Are you dead, Zek? Thank the Lord. I could use your help.
We'll do our best to help out. What's your problem?
So, I volunteer with this charity, group, that helps undocumented immigrants. It keeps them from being snatched by the deportation squads. But me can't get in touch with anybody I've helped. It's too suspect. I'm worried something bad has happened.
No need to worry. We'll look into this charity and make sure it's legitimate.
I traced her message history, and her charity contact was texting her from a known Clan Kelly hideout.
Never thought I'd hear Clan Kelly and charity in the same sentence. Something's not right here.
Indeed. Pushing you the location so you can investigate.
There's enough of everything out there for all of us. We just need the guts to take it back.
It was revealed today that Whitehall has been colluding with aid agencies to enrich a select group of officials by siphoning public funds intended to help society's most vulnerable. Visit GBB for the complete story.
The Bug. Objective voice of objection for a most objectionable world. Hello, Bugsters. Welcome to The Bug, the comedy show that holds up the Medusa of satire to the already immovably concrete face of modern Britain. I'm Andy, I bench 480, and I can crack a tree in half just by looking at it. Can I? Well, what is reality anymore, anyway? Alice, what do you bench?
I bench body weights.
Right.
Well, not my body weight.
Okay.
Body weight of a baby.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to give that kind of detail. Just
It's very impressive. People look at me and go, where did you get that baby?
Yeah. You are listening to The Bug.
In this week's Truth News, according to an official poll, 98% of Londoners are very happy with CTOS. And I am not sure that I agree with this, Andy. I don't think 98% of Londoners have ever in the history of London ever agreed on anything. You could not get 98% of Londoners to agree that oxygen was better than breathing a fog of raw liquid feces. And they expect us to believe that everyone agrees CTOS is better than not choking on shit mist.
Or maybe they just meant 98% of one specific... Londoner who bought shares in Bloom before its tentacles grew into every crevice of the country. I mean, this is not just any old poll, we should say that. This is not any poll. This is an official poll, right from the very heart of government. It's not a knock-off fake poll of an elderly couple and their mangy old dog sitting on a bench waiting to die. This is an official poll. So let's just put those words, official poll, through an online translator in case you didn't study languages. Let's find out what it actually means. Made up lie. There we go. Glad to clear that up. I don't think it's fair to say entirely trust these official polls they feed us, Alice. I mean, they could publish an official poll saying that Over 99.9% of children like ice cream, and I would instantly assume that all children now hate all ice cream and would prefer to eat a bucket of gravel mixed with dead badger. They could publish an official poll saying that 10 out of 10 cats prefer cat food to being whacked with a tennis racket, and I would assume that all cats have gone vegan and were queuing up outside Wimbledon meowing, choose me, choose me.
I trust these polls as much as I trust someone recommending a movie that they watched during a breakup. Your judgment is impaired, Sally.
Auto drive now enabled.
I trust those polls as much as I would trust Mary Kelly if she came on.
Auto drive now
Congratulations,
disabled.
Andy. You just won a free holiday to the south of France in the back of this windowless van.
I think official polls are like the unsolicited dick pics that the government provides us. I didn't ask for it, I don't believe it, it's on an angle, you've artificially inflated it ahead of time, and anyone that falls for one deserves all the disappointment of trying to match it to reality. These polls are absolute rubbish, Andy.
Auto drive
I read one the
now
other day that
enabled.
said the plumbing in London was good, and it absolutely is not. I mean, we have this technology now where they can spy on my every bowel movement. There's a CTOS camera installed inside my underwear drawer. A media drone is scaring the birds off my garden bird feeder, and you can't get me consistently hot water.
Speaking of media drones, I mean, they're everywhere, clearly. The great thing, I guess, about media drones is
Auto
that
drive now.
animate robots, they actually have more humanity, compassion, and dignity
Auto drive
than
now
humans
disabled.
We used to have to put up with at a much more accurately calibrated moral compass. But it's the intrusion I can't stand, Alice. I'm in showbiz. Look at me here in this windowless dungeon. I'm in showbiz, and it's terrible for me. All these drones knowing I'm being filmed all the time, every day. I have to make sure I've done my hair and makeup and not wearing clothes I've ever worn before. We all have crosses to bear.
At this point, they've installed so many CTOS cameras, I'm not sure where they'll put the new ones. On top of the old ones, just cameras watching other cameras like a social media influencer so self-absorbed they don't know how to sleep without turning it into monetized content.
I think that's the logical end of all society, isn't it? Where just everything has just become a camera filming another camera. To be honest, I've just given up on all news and reality now, Alice. I just, in fact, I now just make up my own headlines these days. I get a piece of paper and a pen. Remember them? Paper and pens, those were the days. And I'll just write down the headlines I want to read. Now, I'll just make my own newspaper. Here I've got today. If you point at the bird shit on your car window and say it's a currency, no one can tell you otherwise. Screams Chancellor at Bilderberg karaoke night. Let's write another headline. Here we go. PM announces Britain back on track after swapping all Crown Estate properties for some magic beans. Might as well. We've got to do something as the nation we are today. Here's another one. Wild joy on the streets as Britain signs £864 zillion trade deal with Bolivia. There we go. Build a better world. Government claims only nice people will benefit from agreement to sell trampolines, mermaids and warships to landlocked South American nation. We're building a better Britain. Here's another one. Environment probably fine, claims drowning scientist.
As we expected, a full-blown Clan Kelly operation. Looks like they're detaining undocumented immigrants on site for some reason. Suggest you rescue whoever's being held here and then contact our friend.
Okay, I'm on it.
Am I a dickhead, bruv?
You've only got yourself to blame for this.
Don't worry, I'm not resisting.
In to restrain you, do you understand? Do not resist, do not make any sudden movements. I know my rights. I've been watching you.
There they are. Careful. Clan Kelly might be willing to kill them rather than let them escape.
Hold up. From here. Don't come round here again.
Well, that was a spectacular cock-up. Operation Scrum.
I can guess, but... What exactly has happened?
Sadly, that operative has gone on to the big safe house in the sky.
They control their own destinies, and that they have even a parody of a private life, and that they can smile without crying. And drama teaches them to their brutal skills in this day and age. Of course, it's not just the jobs that have been technologised beyond all recognition, it is also all reality. Thanks once again to Optic. According to Bloom, the Optic system is now the most secure it's ever been. And, well, of course, it's so convenient, Optic, isn't it? It saves us so much time and hassle trying to exist in the realm of reality. You need to bother with that. I mean, sure, the government has hacked into my soul and now basically monitors my every waking moment and thought. But at least I don't have to type "where's my nearest coffee shop" into a search engine. At least I don't have to waste anything between 8 and 12 seconds every day going online to look up how to make a bowl of muesli. And at least I'm not frittering away my precious mental energy thinking, what do I actually think?
Optic is so secure, Andy. It's more secure than a teenage girl reading a women's magazine. It's more secure than a comedian with a drinking problem. It's more secure than a young man who's just got his first motorcycle.
Finally, before we go today, bug off to the Prime Minister, who has once again FRO'd to who knows where this week. He sure as hell is not here in London. I remember back in the day, Alice, when our Prime Ministers were either incompetent or crooked, but not both at once. But actually, no, I can't remember them being both at once. But incompetent, crooked, and not even in the country, that is one impressive triple whammy. I've had Lyons longer than his longest spell on British soil in this last year. It's this halfway house I can't stand. Either come back and do your job, or leave the planet entirely. I'm pretty sure there must be a spare space station knocking around where he can go and entertain himself for the rest of the time. Can we crowdfund it? Tell you, let's make a cryptocurrency out of something and crowdfund it that way. What have you got spare? Jelly beans? Are they still legal?
He's
Auto
away
drive
so
now
often,
enabled.
Andy. I'm starting to think he doesn't like the country.
That is all from the bug today. Fly away, bugs. We are done.
Auto drive now disabled.
This is London Calling. You're here with me, Tash, Buccaneer, your source for what they don't want you to know. In today's world, we've all had to get used to our every move being tracked by the optic on our temples, by the cameras around us, and with every click we make online. Seems like everything we do feeds the big data beast. Why are data giants like Blue so hungry to get hold of our private information and our metadata? What are they using it for? Will we ever have real private lives again? What is privacy in the digital world? And what happens when capitalism and surveillance become one? As you know, we keep all names confidential at Buccaneer. Speaking from a secure location, here's new technology strategist Charles, who worked all over the world trying to keep democracy strong in the face of the data assault.
If you have enough personal data on somebody, you're able to predict what it is that they're going to do. You can tell what they might be passionate about, but mostly you can tell what they feel. And you can tell what someone feels. And you can manipulate them. And you can move them in particular directions. Data is collected on citizens in every possible way. Data is collected through surveillance cameras. Data is collected from television sets. They don't even necessarily need to be super smart television sets. Data is collected from voter records. It's collected from how much power do you use in your house and how much water do you use in your house. In pre-crisis Britain, we got really used to all of our services being free. Everything suddenly became free that was digital. But what people forgot is that if you're not paying for it,
Auto drive now enabled.
If technology brings out the worst in capitalism,
Auto drive now disabled.
Senior academic Alfie tells us how big business repurposes big data.
Historically, what's happened, of course, is that people have traded their privacy for their convenience as smartphones and other kinds of technology came in and became
Auto drive now enabled.
items and technological objects. Gradually, people were so attracted to the affordances of these technologies that privacy kind of retreated into the background and into a state we've got now where it's essentially gone. Having this access to this data makes huge tech companies like Bloom so much more powerful than they would be otherwise, and not just in the obvious ways. Of course, there's a lot of worry and fear over what they can do with the data. They can track anyone, find anyone, see what every individual is doing at any point in time. But I think there's even deeper reasons why this data empowers these huge companies to control our society and make us do things. So lots of predictive technologies which are implemented by these tech giants. It's not only interested in knowing what we're going to do, but influencing the patterns of our movement. So technologies might suggest routes to use in
Auto drive now enabled.
Places to go, restaurants to go to, cafes to go to, music to listen to. And these suggestions are not just predicting what we might like to do, they're actually influencing the way citizens move, think, eat,
Auto drive now disabled.
and use their city as a space. So London has become a place where a small group of surveillance capitalist companies like Bloom can control the movements of individuals.
You can clear a potential recruit's arrest warrant from a nearby terminal.
To a huge corporate capitalist company, and there's something very, very scary about that indeed. All these technologies can be used to not only doing radical and revolutionary things. So technology in foreign nations.
Rubbish.
There's the terminal. You can clear the warrant from there. Well done. Our potential recruit is now officially off London's most wanted list. Now that you've helped them, they might be willing to talk to us.
Who is that?
shunting into the back of others. I think they're worse than human drivers sometimes.
The technology was meant to make things better, but Bloom has made it so bad that it just makes London even more chaotic than it was before. I'm giving up on the cars. I'm only using the bikes, which are not self-driving, at the moment at least. And don't even get me started on the data. Everything that Bloom sees from your movements around the city and the self-driving cars is collected and feeds back into its big information control system.
Oh, not you and Bloom and privacy again. You're a broken record.
Not as broken as our city's cars.
There's a time to be casual. There's a time to blend in. And there's a time a chap has to be a chap. Tailored, measured, delivered with that dash of panache. Abberton Brown.
Welcome back to The Upload. Today we're talking about cryptocurrency. Crypto now seems like it's been around forever, but it's really quite a new invention. Were you an early adopter?
I was one of the first that was in this market. There seemed to be a new way of financial transactions, a new way of money. It's something that we could completely reinvent and change some of the legacy financial systems around the world and really give power back to the people.
Yeah, it was a real shift in the way that the world works. Let's recap the basics. So, central to cryptocurrency is the distributed ledger technology, the tech that keeps track of all transactions. And what this means is you can have a decentralized system without having to trust any one party, like old-fashioned banks.
One of the reasons why I got involved so early was that you could stay anonymous.
Yeah, the features of cryptocurrency very much fit into that early mindset. It was all about finding an alternative to centralized systems. It was kind of a countercultural punk ethos. The whole point of the distributed ledger is you're not trusting any one person to keep a track of who has what money or how they're spending it. It's all out there in the open for anyone to see, and yet you can remain secretive.
But everybody now wants to keep up this crypto legacy. They don't share this attitude anymore. We've seen institutions, businesses, even governments experimenting with crypto, which doesn't really fit into its original radical counterculture mold.
Yeah, it's kind of weird today to think of people not using cryptocurrency. It's so mainstream now. You know, I'm almost nostalgic for the feel of cash.
Auto drive now enabled.
Old-fashioned paper and coins. First they changed the paper notes to plastic notes, and now it's just all digital. There's nothing to hold on to.
It was great just to be able to have a little bit of money to carry around with you.
I think the turning point in the UK really came a few years ago when the pound dropped 10% over just one season. People living off grid started using crypto,
Auto drive now
and just as
enabled.
everyone was losing faith in the pound, they were gaining it in cryptocurrency, which turned out to be much more stable, kind of the opposite to what people thought in the beginning.
And then, of course, there was the recession.
Auto
It didn't
drive
take
now
long for
disabled.
startups to see an opportunity in this new way of doing finance. A lot of traditional money was converted to crypto, and it really shook up the financial sector.
Can you remember when they first introduced crypto cash points?
That was really sneaky. It was a classic startup behaviour. They just installed them everywhere. No consultation with the government, no approval or anything. But people immediately started to use them.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of how Bloom put out the Optic. They just made it free and flooded the streets with these devices. Suddenly everyone had them.
If there's this great option of tech, people are just going to start using it, no matter the cost.
Parliament actually tried to put a stop to the cash points, but people were using them so much already. There was outrage. I mean, some parts of London were already using crypto as their primary currency by then.
And now, apparently, or at least in theory, crypto is illegal.
Yeah, in May this year, economists found that crypto was being traded more than the pound, and banks were not happy. They basically forced the government to ban cryptocurrency in a last-ditch effort to save the pound.
But it's not like that's worked. People are still using crypto, and it's been pushed further, deeper underground. Things used to work fine with crypto, and it was just a peer-to-peer sharing economy-style system. Now it's all on the dark web and wrapped up again in organised crime.
Yeah, if you want to make something thrive on the black market, just make it illegal.
Should doctors be holding down 2 or even 3 jobs? You appear to be someone interested in helping London.
Shit, are you saying you're dead sick? I could really use your help.
We'll see. What's the problem?
So I've got this friend. We used to do protests and shit together, right? Fuck the man and so on. Anyway, last time, Albion breaks it up in classic Albion fashion, and while I'm seeing double, they throw my mate into an ambulance and just piss off. We were told they died. Thing is, no one's been allowed to see the body. Not friends, not even family.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Look, I just want to know what happened. Not knowing, it sucks. Just help me get some closure and I'll do whatever you want.
Sounds bad. I'll see what I can do.
The friend's official record states he was taken to hospital before he died.
I'd like to look into that.
Nibbling away on rotting carcass of a once free Britain. Hello, Resistors. This is The Bug, and on today's show, Alice and I will be looking at the big questions, such as, are we less than 2 years away from being able to turn a sausage back into a live pig? Did we actually need polar bears anyway? What do they really do? If I put Optic on my dog, can I train it to take itself for a walk and do my shopping on the way home? And is tennis real? But first... it's a question that no one's really addressed of late. London is going to be safer than ever, Alice. SIRS is installing thousands of additional CCTV cameras. So nice there. Still looking out for us after all these years.
Yeah, it puts a lot of fun into my life now. I get to play this role-play game where I pretend to know my loved ones better than some twat behind a screen in the SIRS headquarters.
I mean, I guess we shouldn't complain. I mean, SIRS really just stepping into the vacancy left when it became patently obvious that God had retired. We think that the similarities, omnipresent, omniscient, judgmental, stripping away your finances and freedoms, dishing out random punishments. He's in a pod. All it needs to do, sir, is ban me from eating something. What's it going to be this time? Not bacon again, please. Please, not bacon. I couldn't. Courgettes. Ban courgette. I can take you banning courgette.
You're at the hospital where our prospect's friend died. We can get hold of his full patient record here.
All right.
It's like having an extra aunt.
This is the aunt that gets drunk at Christmas and vomits in the kiddie pool, right?
Get that on. This is The Bug on the Buccaneer. Let's move on now to sport. Well, I don't think we have to sport now. Right. I mean, right, like...
That's the CTOS up there.
You're right, I mean, it's a great sport. I mean, it's fun for all the family. Guarantee that. It's provably violent. I mean, I know the other one.
Stop now, and I might not kill ya.
Albion will protect at all costs.
Well, our GPS analysis complete. I've got a bead on our kidnapped operative.
Send the coordinates to my optic.
Possibly managed, but that's way better.
You're listening to
Auto drive now enabled.
Nausea, vomiting and headaches. Hello Britain, this is The Bug, the show that holds up a mirror to the world and smashes itself on the head with it in despair. I'm Andy, joining me, as always, Alice, and...
I deny everything.
It's just a good state of existence. Some good news, at last. There are no medicine shortages, according to the government, none at all. There have been various allegations about that. It turns out they are all fake news, trademark. There are none. There are no shortages of medicine. Don't take it from me. I'm not a medical supplier. Anyway, take it from I'm a London government. It's fine. In fact, we're going to read between the lines here.
Auto drive now disabled.
There's too much medicine, if anything. Just medicines. Medicine. He can't move for medicine. In fact, just this morning, I tried to pour some cornflakes into a bowl for breakfast, and out tumbled a 12-month course of immunosuppressants, corticosteroids, and anti-retrofungal neurodilatory estrogen spermatotropic fruit pastels.
The people claiming there are medical shortages...
The missing operative is here. They survived this long, so try not to get them killed in the home stretch.
Just last week I went in with a broken arm and they suggested it might just be extreme period pain and prescribed me a drink of water and an astrology chart.
I think we can't be too far away from them just prescribing stiff upper lip like they do in the Blitz.
My uncle had a leg removed due to diabetes. They halved his insulin because they said there was less of him to be diabetic.
So, anyway, people don't believe what you read or hear about them having enough medical drugs to their rabbit.
I swear, restaurants should have a kids-only section.
Moving on.
Covering from here.
It only makes things worse.
Backside, my shot!
Get away. Nothing to see here. What's next? You won't be hiding for long, you know. I've got nothing. I'll try over there. I know you're here, G. Just stick your head up. I'm not forever. See it. This fucker could be anywhere. Oh.
are en route to suspect.
Wounded the fucker!
I know you're here, lad!
Get him out of here. Well, that's the end of that harassment camp.
The answer to this, but Bagley, why did the feed cut out?
Unfortunately, that piece of your heart isn't the only thing that died. Anyway, you're up. By the way, I have some exciting news about the woman you just helped. The missing operative is here. They survived this long, so try not to get them killed in the home stretch.
You'll get to us one way or another.
Get him out of here.
Hey, stop! You hear that?
Caps every time we eat a scrap of lettuce. 3, positive 3. The human race had already cooked all the recipes it needed. There was nothing more to be done with food. We've done that. We can tick it off. We've done it. I was bored of food anyway. I've been eating it all my life. If you've been doing the same thing 3 times a day, 4 sometimes, 7 or even 8 times a day.
Seems like you got away.
Positive, no more meal times. Frees up all that extra time for appreciating all the selfless hard work that Albion do to keep us all safe.
Well, as you say, Andy, people are drawn to novelty, and everyone's had breakfast once. Why you gotta keep having it again and again?
Boring, repetitive. There's enough of that in life as it is. You are listening to The Bar. Well, another story that has come to the fore recently is that all European imports have been banned for public health reasons, which is great news. I mean, at least we can get eating good, home-produced, locally sourced, British, industrially unsafe food. That's something we can all get to. Public health reasons, those are curious words. Alice, I don't know, is that in case the public gets too healthy eating all that Mediterranean mutton? Let's have British food for British tummies. Spelt, nettles, rabbit. That's all we need. That's all we need in the glory days. Everyone round for Nigel for dinner again.
Our friend is back in fighting shape and another enemy at DedSec has been thwarted. Nicely done.
Unspecified rat meat pie with zeros.
Sand, nettles, and bits of dead fox. That's all we needed to eat in the glory days.
What's this bird story then, Bagley?
Albion's hot on her trail. GPS history shows a pattern of raids on locations she's recently visited.
I reckon that's something DedSec should look into.
Got it. I've tracked down an officer who was at the most recent raid. You can scrape their optic for intel.
Use of threats. But hasn't that always been the way? This island became great, not because of the good times, but how we dealt with the bad. From tighter border controls to investing in the pound, your government is taking the action needed to keep Britain safe. So when you meet someone who questions what we're doing, it's time for you to ask, why are they so worried? After all, if you've got nothing to hide, you've nothing to fear. SIRS, securing Britain to make things great.
Auto drive now enabled.
Carcass of a once free Britain.
Auto drive now disabled.
Fans, you're listening to the Bunk Podcast, the objective voice of objection for this most objectionable world. I am Andy, not my real name, so good luck finding me, Monsieur Bloom. My real name is in fact Andrew, and I live in, note this down, a deleted pseudo-reality of my own making, which is in fact the most densely populated place on Earth these days, overcrowded, some might say. Joining me, as always, my next door neighbour in these Netherlands of nonsense. It's Alice.
Yes, indeed, it is
this
Alice.
Place is
Alice
bad days.
is Alice. I am not going to tell you that, but you can just sort of sense it from the timbre of my voice.
Let's spin the wheel and find out where we're getting today's news from. Here. It's coming from here. I must get a new wheel with at least one other place on it. And the headline today, Alice, our borders are safe. We can all sleep easy in our well-bordered beds. 4,000 illegals were deported last month. These illegal people breaking the law just by existing. And of course, illegality is contagious. It can osmose through your skin just by standing next to an illegal person. So we've got rid of 4,000 of them. My question for you, Alice, is why only 4,000? Is that really enough? I will not feel safe until at least another 75 million people have been deported from this country, and I'm here in Britain on my own.
As a bleeding heart lefty, Andy, I would normally be outraged about this, but really I think mass deportation is a very handy way to break up with a partner. I'm sorry, baby, I love you, but an anonymous source has reported you for snoring really loudly in a French way.
So everyone out, no exceptions, Alice, not even you. It's for the good of the country. Everyone out. Unless you can prove that your family are in the background on the Bayeux Tapestry cheering on King Harold at the Battle of Hastings in 1066. Get out. Actually, that's not British enough. Unless you can show, unarguably, that your direct bloodline is untainted by anything since before the Romans. Actually, scratch that. Unless your direct ancestor was personally responsible for building Stonehenge, get out of my country. I guess when you look at it, you know, the best ways to stop immigration, apart from, obviously, the end of the world, to make the place you want to stop people coming to as unpleasant as possible. So,
well, we absolutely are doing that, Andy.
Well, you know, fair play to the government for helping us with that. Another option, extend the White Cliffs of Dover. They've been resting on their laurels for too long. Very inefficient, it turns out, as a means of stopping immigration. We need to extend them by about another 11,000 miles, a full wrap around Great Britain, and they could do with being
Auto drive now enabled
as well, with a special
auto drive now disabled.
Over the top or however they get in. Here's a quick joke for you, Alice, about immigration. Did you hear the one about the woman who went into the immigration processing centre and was ever seen again?
No, Andy, I didn't hear that one.
Boom. Set up, punchline. Classic. For those of you unfamiliar with it, the Immigration Processing Centre is, of course, where so many of our guests to Britain go for a longer than desirable game of involuntary hide and seek. You are listening to The Bun. I will conclude by saying that of all the things wrong with Britain today, I think immigration is right up there, Alice. When you think of all the health professions we've stolen from overseas over the years here in Britain, it's quite possible that all these people are just coming here to try to get an appointment with their local doctor.
Yes, Andy, certainly as someone who came from the expanded arm of the empire when Britain was still reaching out rather than folding in on itself. Most of us...
I'm here. That brilliant Albion goon left their optic on passive listening mode. Must have skipped counter-surveillance day in fascist school. They might have recorded something about our prospect.
Pizza piss. I'll get the data.
I think this is probably a good thing, because British foreign politicians are always putting their foot in their mouths. How much worse can they do if they're not there? I mean, by definition, the fact that there's a spy scandal means that they were terrible spies. The point of spies is that there's never a spy scandal.
Yeah, but let's give credit to all the spies that haven't been in scandals and therefore might as well not exist.
Well, they've arrested those German spies in that SIRS crackdown on the illegals in Hackney. And I think that's just the right thing.
Things. To comply with instructions from rusty piece of junk.
That's her.
Nothing in the vicinity. Gonna keep looking.
Hey, watch it!
That drone's been hacked. Locked down.
Damn, it's like they just vanished.
Just calm down. There's no point in it. All right. Okay.
Citizens, if you see something, say something. We are here to protect you. Albion is here.
Stop resisting!
Continuing unlawful activity will result in arrest.
I need someone to help my location.
No. Bagley, tell me you've got the contacts of the fuckers that did that.
Unfortunately, that piece of your heart isn't the only thing that died. Anyway, you're up. That's her.
Christ on a bike. What is it now? Got an access denied notification.
Fine, I'll call someone to clean up your mess again. Wait, is it just that? Oh, you can't be serious. They should be paying me to do this.
Ah, this DedSec shit's fun.
All quiet. Well done. Now get out of there so we can take a look at what you've got. Just as I thought, take a listen to this.
You find the drugs cache?
It was right where you said. Aren't we lucky?
Told you not to worry. We've got that acid over a barrel. The goods will always be where they need to be.
Is that what passes for coded language with these thick twats? Anyway, it looks like the woman we're after isn't being hunted by Albion after all. She's planting evidence for them.
I'll go speak with her then. Bagley, get me a face-to-face.
Wanted to be harassed by an
A reminder, Albion Services operating.
So, totalitarian countries have typically used huge mainstream media outlets to sell one kind of news, one kind of biased news to its population. Of course, the media has always played this kind of key role in methods of state control. I think what's happening now is perhaps even more concerning, where you previously, in pre-crisis Britain, we had perhaps more diverse voices in the media, but now with the GBB, you're really only seeing one brand of news and therefore only getting one truth. So people end up with a very biased and controlled idea of the reality and the world that we're actually living in. There was, of course, many concerns and many problems, but in a way there were some positive things that, like, not all information was coming from one place, and so you'd have kind of far-right media outlets developing and then left-wing media outlets developing to combat those and kind of challenge the mainstream newspapers, TV stations, radios, and make sure people were questioning the validity and truth of the information they were receiving. So whilst there was the digital afforded more fake information, it also makes us suspicious and sceptical of information and makes us question the information we're getting. And I think in pre-crisis Britain, it might not have seemed great at the time, but there was something positive about that there was a lot of distrust in the media and in the different kinds of truths that were being told. Whereas now, I think you're seeing a return to a more traditional and older pre-digital sense, actually, of people just trusting what they're told, and that's why we have to be here with radio stations like this to challenge those conceptions. Most citizens feel pretty hopeless, I think, and unable to fight back against these kind of huge mainstream corporations that simply entrench and support the ideals and ideologies of the state. It can seem very hopeless indeed, but I think, you know, the fact that you're out there listening and we're in here talking shows that there is still a space to combat these false truths and disinformation that's being sold to us, and that it's never possible really to completely shut down, despite all the technologies that they have at their disposal and all the financial and corporate power and all the physical power. It's never quite possible to shut down people's desire to get to the truth and fight for their own ideologies and values, and you know, we're out here starting that task, so don't give up hope.
You've been listening to Buccaneer with me, Tash. We'll be back soon with more of what you'll never hear on the GBB. Keep listening, keep sharing, and keep resisting.
In just 3 short years, London has seen 15% of its workforce made redundant, and another 20% are expected to be added in the next 5 years. As artificial intelligence advances on nearly every sector of the economy. Tonight on GBB, we examine how the new age of automation is affecting the lives of Londoners who have lost or are about to lose their livelihoods.
Telling you now that I'm gonna leave